Hello, George Butty from Butty Manufacturing. I'm here to introduce our Sw150 Easy Load Tire Cutter. This tire cutter is designed to cut the sidewalls out of tractor trailer tires, right from your standard tire right up to the Super 18s. One of our goals when we designed this machine was to reduce the cost and improve the performance by making it easier to load the tire, and as well as improving the safety of the operation of the machine. Now, one of the things we've done is we put two hand touch controls on it, which keeps your hands away from the cutting action, which obviously improves the safety. The other thing we've done compared to our SW200 was to look at the design of the old machine and pay attention to some of the comments given to us by our customers. And one of the issues that came up was that a lot of people found that the SW200 was cumbersome to load, which it was. You had to roll it up a ramp, drop it onto the machine, activate the blade, it would cut it, you'd physically lift it off, turn it around, put it back on. So it was a lot of physical work. So we looked at the potential of what we could do to improve the design of the machine, and we came up with this machine, which allows us to load it very simply from the front. And ideally what you do is you roll the tire up, drop it down, turn the machine on, activate the buttons. You see it picks the tire up, the cutting blade comes in, you hold it on until the cut's done, you release it, split the two halves, pull the one side off, flip it around, and then repeat the cycle. So that's basically what we've done to make the improvements we needed for this machine. Now, the other thing we also put in big consideration was the cost. The SW200 runs for $13,600. This particular machine we managed to bring down approximately half the cost at $6,900 US. So basically that's what we did with this machine, and we've come up with something that our customers right now are very, very pleased with and are using the machine quite steadily. I've got customers right now that are running this machine 8 hours a day, and they're cutting approximately 500 tires a day. One of the questions that comes up is the longevity of the blade on the 150 machine. I have customers now running this particular machine 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, some people claim, and they're getting approximately 500 tires a day cut. The particular, or the average life of the blade is approximately good for about 5,000 tires. And to achieve that, the blade would have to be sharpened 2 to 3 times over its lifetime. In general, the customers I have right now are running steady 3 to 4 days without touching the blade, and at that point they do a quick sharpening of the blade to bring it back to life. And to do that, it's just done with a simple hand grinder, and I'm going to just demonstrate that right now so you can see how simple it really is. I'm going to take a hand grinder with a hard wheel. You turn the machine on, and as it's rotating, you grind the top. Grind the bottom. Now, in general, the grinding takes about 2 to 3 minutes to do it properly. And one of the things you have to pay attention to is make sure that you maintain the bevel length. On this particular blade, it's a 7-inch blade. It has a 1/2-inch bevel on the top and the bottom. And what happens as the blade wears out is that the edge drops down, and then the width of the bevel drops off from 1/2 inch down to 3/8. Some people even let it go as bad as a 1/4 inch. Once you get down that far, the cutting capacity or performance drops off dramatically. So the key thing is when you grind the blade is to make sure that you maintain the 1/2-inch flatness of the bevel, both the top and the bottom. And the other thing is don't rush the grinding, because if you overheat the blade, it knocks the temper out of it and softens it, which does reduce its life. So that gives you an idea of what it takes to bring the sharpness up. One other question that comes up is consumable parts. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the blade is probably your biggest consumer. Blade's good for approximately 5,000 tires. The other issues that come up are our drive sprockets and our bottom roller assembly. In general, you'll get 5 to even 10,000 tires cut before those components have to be changed. Now, to change the components is actually quite simple compared to our SW200. The SW200 was kind of cumbersome. It was down in the bottom of the machine, and a lot of water would fall on it, and rust became a real issue, and it took a bit of effort to take it apart. With this design, we brought the spindle and arbor up in a high point, so it's out of the debris and water that's trapped in the tire. So it reduces the amount of rust and contaminants that can happen that seize up this assembly. Now, to change the blade, we have just 2 bolts on the guard. You take the guard out, and then there's a locking device on top, which is very easily removed by loosening 4 set screws, and then the whole assembly slides off as a stack. Now, in the stack, we have a lower and upper drive sprockets in the blade that's held together with 2 bolts. You just remove those bolts, the whole assembly comes apart, put the new parts in, tighten the bolts up, drop it back in, put the clamping locker on, drop your blade back in, and that is done approximately in 5 minutes, compared to the SW200, which took easily half an hour, even up to an hour. So that is another feature that's been improved on this machine. Now, the other thing that I can emphasize is the power. We're running a 5 horsepower electric motor. That can come in either 3-phase or single phase, 50 hertz or 60 hertz, whatever you'd like. Runs a very simple switch, on-off switch. Turns the spindle on, shuts it off. And the other simple thing, as I showed you earlier, is the 2-hand safety buttons. Push the buttons, ram comes up, cut, release. So in general, this is the machine. I'm going to give you a demonstration of how the actual loading and cutting works. Roll the tire up, spin it around, get it reasonably close, drop it, any position, turn the spindle on, hit the 2 buttons, let the whole machine reset itself, pick it up, drop the sidewall off, spin the tire, give it a little pull, drop the 2 pieces in, and there you go. That's a tire cut. Thank you for watching the video. If you're looking for any more information, look us up at buttymfg.com or email me at george@buttymfg.com. Thank you very much.